Okay, now you'll work on scenario one, the disabled buyer. If you will, we have 4 parts that we'll want to complete for each part of scenario number one. So put this presentation on pause, then take 15 minutes or so, read the scenarios and answer the questions by selecting the best answers. And when you've completed all 5 parts, then return back here and unpause your presentation, and then I'll go through the answers with you. Okay, you've completed all 4 parts for scenario 1. Part 1, we're asking for the best answer to part 1. Okay, let's review the best responses for scenario 1, part 1. And we can see the appropriate responses are 1, 7, 10, 11, and 12. Those are the better responses. You should arrange to meet Joe somewhere other that's accessible to him if you're kind of aware that he has a disability. If there's another office location that you've got, your company's got, that's probably the best solution. If not, maybe your agency works closely with another area that you can meet them, maybe an attorney's office or maybe at a title company, which might happen, I suppose. Wherever you choose to meet, make sure you provide Joe with all the appropriate services that an agent would provide in any other office. So, for example, if you normally sit with a buyer and review properties in MLS via the internet, be somewhere where you've got internet access and you can. So you want to offer him, even though you're not meeting in your regular office, perhaps you want to offer him equal service. So 1, 7, 10, 11, and 12. Try to arrange someplace that will allow wheelchairs. Ask him his time frame for purchasing a house, which you typically would do with all buyers. 10, you'd ask about the possibility of signing a buyer agency agreement, which is always a good idea. That way you'll be representing him. 11, ask what amenities he might be looking for in a property. The nice to haves and the wants to haves and the needs to haves are all a little different. 12, ask Joe if he's been working with any other real estate agents to look at property. Scenario 1, part 2, best answers for that is the best answer is number 2, which is the property suitable for all, including those with disabilities. That would not violate any fair housing law because you're making it accessible to all parties, whether they have disabilities or whether they don't. So the ad doesn't explicitly discuss the protected classes. It's inclusive for those with disabilities and in no way indicates that the property is restricted to anyone, whether a member of a protected class or not. Scenario 1, part 3, best responses are 3, 6, and 7. 3, once Joe's purchased the condo, he can make any modifications necessary to accommodate his needs. 6, whether or not you agree with Joe, unless he's asking you to do something that is illegal, he is your client and you owe him your statutory obligations of obedience and care and confidentiality. So you must negotiate on Joe's behalf. He's your client. So you negotiate for his best interests. 7, full disclosure is a requirement under the Illinois law of agency. So you want to make sure that you give him full disclosure of any hidden defects on the property that might affect his ownership. Okay, so you'll be representing Joe as your buyer Joe's client. Lastly, scenario 1, part 1, best answer would be 1. Enroll in a fair housing training class and do follow a review with a review for other licensees in the office as well. So As a designated managing broker, you've got the responsibility to ensure that all licensees that you supervise understand the fair housing laws. So if you've forgotten, it's always a good idea to have refresher courses. I recommend that each office every year or two that they have a in-house training class for any updates in the fair housing laws. And that way everybody's kept up to speed. So always a good idea to do that. All right, continue on to the terminology review for lesson 2.